What up, world? This is the Tankhead Moe Show. I'm your host, Tankhead Moe. And today, we've got a special guest in the building. From featuring to headlining stages across the country. You've seen him lighting up rooms like Laughing Skull, Helium Comedy Club, The Lab at Zane's in Nashville, the Good Vibe Comedy Festival, and even on Revolt TV, Funny AF Season 2. Not only is he a talented stand-up comedian with over 12 years in the game, he's also the co-host of the Dope Dads podcast, where he keep it real about fatherhood, life, and everything in between. Known for turning personal experience into unforgettable laughs, this comedian proudly represents Savannah, Georgia, by way of Atlanta, and has been making audience laugh one story at a time. Tankhead Moe family, I need y'all to make some noise, get on your feet, and show some love for the one, the only, the hilarious stand-up comedian, Nate Allen.
I'm not just clapping for the introduction. I'm glad that you just got it right. Y'all don't know. Man. I've been sitting here before the show. This man was sweating, just trying to figure out how to do that intro, and you turned it on.
Hey, man.
You fake as hell.
Hey, man.
You don't talk like that at all.
Hey, man.
That was amazing, man. Good job. Man. Thank you so much for that intro. I appreciate that.
Man, I just appreciate you accepting the invite. And I just want to, give people, like I work hard to give people a good light, like stand-up comedians like us, a good light and introduction if I can, you know. And I take that real serious about being professional with it, you know.
So much, I don't know if some comics have this thing, but it's almost like you're reluctant to acknowledge any of the things that you did because you were naming off those things, and I just kept wanting to say, hey, man, can you stop? It's not that deep. But it's like, no, it's
yes, it is.
Sometimes you should be proud of the things you've done. I'm not so much of a pessimistic comic as I used to be. I'm like, no, it is okay to be happy about stuff. So,
and accept, man, and it's only one Nate Allen. You see what I'm saying? So you just gotta accept it, man, and let it flow. And I know what you're talking about. Like sometimes we're like, I don't want, because other people, so just accept it, man.
Yeah, I think it's about living up to certain things. Because I've had hosting shows, I've had comics actually have an attitude with me when I just read down credits of them because it's like, don't tell people I was on Netflix. Now I gotta live up to being the guy that was on Netflix. And if I had a mid-set, I am the guy you saw from Netflix that had a mid-set. And I asked comics specifically, what do you want me to say before I bring you out? Because I want you to feel comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, that was cool.
I understand that, but people got to start loving who they are, man.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation. Obviously, you're doing something right if you are on Netflix.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they may have a good set, but they ain't on Netflix. So you got to accept it, man. God only made one you, and you got to accept who you are.
Yeah. A lot of there's some saying that I heard sometimes when I get down or I feel like I'm not getting enough that I'm supposed to get from comedy. They're just saying, I can't remember where I heard it from, but it's like, remember, there was a time you wanted all the things that you have right now.
Yes.
And it's so many times I had to stop myself when I was complaining about a thing and be like, hey, you remember when all you wanted to do was just be booked on a few shows in Atlanta, and now you're complaining because you're not everywhere all the time. You need to be a little bit more humble. So I try to remember that even if I'm doing a bar show, it's like there was a point in time where I would have killed to be on this little bar show. I'm at a point right now where I'm becoming grateful for things, and it's making it easier to just be present and have fun with the things I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah. See, man, that's a good thing, man. Like growing up in Savannah and later in Atlanta, what experience shaped your sense of humor?
Like in the intro, you pointed out very, very good way that a lot of times I'll turn just things that I've experienced into humor. Not trying to go into the woe is me thing because I haven't had everything in life, but I've had I've had like love and everything. And some of the experiences that shaped me growing up, I was never a class clown or even someone that wanted the attention on them.
Right.
It's almost like with humor, you know the story of Clark Kent when he was a kid,
right?
And he could not control any of his powers. And as soon as he came to Earth, everything was just blasting at him. He didn't know what was happening or how to own any of it.
Right.
I think that's how I was with comedy. Like when I was in a stressful situation and I would be expressing myself, it would be incredibly funny to other people, but I couldn't understand like why they were laughing, or it would just be plain people were making fun of me. You can't tell with this hair, but I got a crazy ass shaped head. It's like I don't know if you could see it. You can see it kind of from this side. My head does a thing where like
you got one of my heads.
I got one. Where's the back?
That Chappelle.
I'm not gonna lie. There's more dents in mine than it is knots, and I think you get that from if your mother lays you down on the back of your head. It kind of shapes your head when you're a baby. So I think I was just flat in the back, just dents. So like that was a big thing, and I was always a skinny kid. So it's like people would make fun of me. Those would be the two quickest things. And that was mostly my dad smacked me in the back of my head, after you get a haircut and that. So really, I think a lot of my humor is I was a very quiet kid. So when you quiet, you analyze a lot of situations and you understand your feelings. You may not know how to tell it to the rest of the world.
Right.
But you internalize things a lot. You analyze things a lot. You may not show it on the outside, but it's like there. So a lot of my childhood was things happening to me, and my reaction would be silence and not knowing how to articulate any of those feelings. So it's wild being here today where I actually have a job where it's based off on me telling people how I feel.
Right.
So basically that I didn't lose a lot of fights as a kid, but I was somebody that was very easy to like pick on. So a lot of my material, a lot of the stance I want to take, what is this? Did I tear something apart? But a lot of stance that I want to take when I do my stand-up is a person who is incredibly confident,
right,
and is has a perspective on a lot of things that comes from the things of me internalizing stuff,
and they express your emotions.
Yeah.
I was, growing up, I was the bad kid, man.
You were a bad kid?
Oh man, I was quiet though. I was sneaky bad. Yeah.
What is bad to you?
Bad is like taking a paper clip, sticking it in the socket, and knocking out a power out. In the classroom.
Word. Oh, that's almost suicidal.
Yeah. I was bad, man. I used to get whippings all the time. My mom used to want to sneak up to the school and be looking through the door. Teacher, I'm gonna call your mama. Call my mama then. Soon as my mom walk in the class, I had like I ain't did. And then, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
How old are you?
4'8".
4'8". You thought that made it sound younger?
Yeah.
48. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up in a time where you saw people get whooped in front of front of the class?
Yeah.
Okay.
The teachers had rulers back then.
Oh, the teachers beat you.
Yeah,
you got beaten by the teacher.
The parents too. My mom and the teacher. We had a teacher named Miss Wood, and she used to carry the wood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was different back then, but schools back then was a little, like the kids now are a little soft.
I work with autistic children.
Okay.
I condone this beating children thing. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But no, that's crazy. And your parents knew that you was getting beat by these teachers?
Oh yeah, they knew we was getting paddled. Yeah, the PE teacher used to paddle. We had a PE teacher we used to call Mr. King. And
all these nicknames that y'all teachers got, they get him about beating the teachers. He beat them so good. He's called the King.
Mr. King. We used to get paddled for not participating. That's how bad it was back then. You don't want to run? Touch your toe. Bah!
Nobody spoke. Nobody had conversations with children.
We didn't have a conversation. It was different.
Like speak to a child.
Yeah.
He could have been like, I'm sick today. Nah, I just already beat you. Bro.
Right.
He was being disrespectful. You ain't had no cold. Nobody spoke to y'all.
Right. We came up in the era where fathers didn't tell the kids they love you. You're supposed to know. No, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Tell me you love me, so.
And it's not like I judge people too much because I don't have kids, and I understand even spending like 8 hours with them through the day. That's a lot. So just imagine trying to have your life and having kids at the same time. I don't think you should abuse your kids, but it's not. If I see someone beating a kid in Kroger, I'm like, if I could rewind it and see how it started, maybe this parent doesn't look so evil.
Right.
But my sisters, they have adopted soft parenting, which I think can work. Because I used to get whoopings when I was younger. I didn't always get a conversation before or after. So I wonder, do you do the same thing with you? Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have 4.
Wood has the same level of discipline that your parents had?
No.
How is it different?
When if I whoop my kids, I explain to them the reason why you're getting a whooping.
Before,
but I get a warning after. So my kids, I give warnings. You see what I'm saying? Like okay, if I say don't do something, that's the first warning. So by the third warning, it's a popping. But I ain't never did the long. I told you to get back in here, not to do flipping the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The belt buckle don't hit you in the pride part. Nah, I ain't do all that stuff. Get stunts on. Boy, I told I didn't. So
I think it's like a low hanging fruit joke that older black people describe the way that they were beaten, and you don't real. I had a bit about it for a while where you don't even realize that that's abuse you're bragging about. People would be like, "Oh, my mama whooped me, then made me get in the tub so the water could get in the webs," and I'm like, that is torture. And what the fuck did this 12-year-old do to you that was so bad? You had to beat him like a slave. That's crazy. Like, my mama electrocuted me and I'm dead, man. Yeah, she didn't play no games. Like, no, she was an awful person, man.
But just guess what, though? A lot of us didn't go to jail, though. You know what I'm saying?
Statistically, I'm not gonna lie. I think, and again, I'm not against beating children, but I think there was some study that was put out where it was. Oh, you mean when you say us, you mean your family?
My age, my family.
Your whole entire your age range? Or you talking about?
I say my family.
Your immediate
my
house.
family. We didn't go to jail.
Your immediate house.
Yeah.
No, you was like everybody else my age that got a whooping. They're in jail right now, but we good.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was some statistic that was put out that says it shows if you beat your kids, it shows that they're more likely to be in jail for aggressive crimes. I need to pull that up, and because not only have I worked with autistic children, I worked at a mental hospital with children like from age 11 to like 15.
Okay.
Some of them, it was mental issues going on.
Right.
And then some of them would do things to the point where I'm like, oh, this kid needs to see Mr. Wood or Mr. King need to come pay one of these kids a visit. But it's like, oh, maybe if that route wasn't taken with some of them, maybe their conflict resolution would be different and they wouldn't have ended up in a place like that. Because not only was it a mental hospital, it was kind of like a juvenile detention center as well.
Got you.
No, it's like different variables. Do you ever think about that? How did it turn out? How are your kids now?
Oh, my kids are good, but I do have my younger son. He's ADHD and high functioning autistic. So,
how long did it take for you to realize that?
He's 10 now, but it took me fighting because
took you fighting?
Yeah, I'm saying I had to fight with it for a couple of years.
I was in the middle of beating this nigga, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I need to take you to the doctor. There might be something wrong. Because you ain't moved out the way after I've been swinging this belt for a while.
Right. And very intelligent, but you couldn't tell because he's normal. You see what I'm saying? Like, he don't, like, he's high function, so he can adapt and live. But he'll just be spaced out sometime. I'd be like, hey, son, go over there and give me that water bottle. Hey, Dad, the sky is blue. Did you know the Egyptians stayed on the moon? You like, hold up, what? Man, give me my water over there, But it real intelligent, but I'm just, So I just learned to, just keeping some type of normacy and stuff like that and, like that and getting the proper care. Yeah.
Because it's like a stigma. Because I actually dated someone that was autistic, and I guess it's more of how they interact with people, or what's the amount of energy they could have in social situation. Right. Does he ever tell you like he's overstimulated, or is that like a thing?
It feels a lot of people around. Yeah,
a lot of noises.
A lot of noises. Yeah. His ears start ringing. But he don't be doing the. That, but he'll be like,
Dude, I hope y'all got that on one of the cameras. Yeah. Do that one more time. What is the thing that he don't do?
You know how they he don't do none of that stuff.
All right.
So he'll be like, nah.
Make sure y'all don't get me in that frame.
It was a setup, man. But yeah,
it was the Tankhead show.
The Tankhead.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing to do with that.
But yeah, man. But I love it, man, because I'm boy, girl. So. Got 2 grown kids and 2 kids. So.
What's the age difference? How old is your oldest kid?
Oldest 25, second one 19,
wow.
10 and 8.
So your early 20s, you started having kids.
Yeah.
You sure you're not in the military?
No, man. Sure? Military family, brother military, stuff like that. But nah, I'm not in the military, man.
Everything that you described is just military.
Yeah. I got some military stuff, though, but I'm not in the military. Okay. Yeah.
I told you look like you do PRT every morning.
Yeah, nah, that's my brother, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like who was some comedians that inspired you to pursue comedy?
I got into comedy right after I graduated from high school. That was in 2013. I had always loved the Chappelle Show. He was without a doubt one of my favorite of all time. I used to watch Kings of Comedy, Cat Williams. But around that time, like 2013, that's when Kevin Hart really like exploded. Kevin Hart came out with Seriously Funny and I'm a Grown Little Man. And those are some of the best. Kevin Hart isn't my favorite comic of all time, but it's without a doubt he was the hottest thing.
Oh, he's good.
Around that time. And those 2 specials, those were the first. Seriously Funny was the first special I can ever remember holding my gut and laughing at. His delivery, demeanor, voice was so impactful that I remember not only comics, but everyone on Twitter was trying to talk like Kevin Hart. Everybody was trying to do all of their cadence, jokes, punchlines, exactly like Kevin Hart. He was that impactful. And then around that time, I had some interest in like dramatic acting. I had become a really, really big fan of like Will Smith and Denzel. And a lot of times I would just get high and watch the movies. And then it made me start thinking about dramatic writing. I wasn't really into comedy like that around this time. It was everything. I think Will Smith had come out with like 7 Pounds around that time. I kept watching Pursuit of Happiness. Just his dramatic acting I was just so into it. And the same thing with Denzel. I watched Training Day like 1,000 times. At one point, that dining scene, his first scene, where he's reading the newspaper. I sent an audition tape into SCAD because I thought that's how you got into SCAD. That's not how you get into SCAD at all. How you get into SCAD. I don't know why I did that. But I had visions of going to SCAD for dramatic acting. And then I had this thought where I was like, oh, I don't think I'm good looking enough to be on these things. So then I was like, okay, I think I could be a comedic actor. Like Jonah Hill's doing it. Like I think I'm cute as Jonah Hill, so I think I can do it.
Forrest Whitaker.
So, in my head, I was so shallow that I wasn't thinking all the ugly people that have also done dramatic. So I was like, I could have definitely done that. But because that thought, I was like, you know what? Let me try to do something comedic. And then I was like, oh, Kevin Hart inspires me a little bit. I started watching like outtakes of the Chappelle Show of Dave just on stage. So there was this coffee shop. I was like, hey, let me go to the coffee shop, try it out. And I got up there and I had 2 of my own jokes. And the third one was a Dave Chappelle joke. And
it wasn't a candy bar joke. It's doo-doo, baby.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. See,
That's
that
hilarious.
people would have known that was it if I said it like that. I thought I was slick because I watched all the outtakes of the Chappelle show. So I was like, oh, ain't nobody watched this. And so I did a joke where he was talking about a pitcher that got into a fight. And then one of the old dude managers came out here and he kicked him. And then everybody gave him shit about it. And he was like, what was he supposed to do? A nigga was charging him. I was like, I wish a white man would charge me. I'd be like, this is for Rosa Parks. Pow! And I did that joke. Whole room exploded. They didn't laugh at anything that I said prior to that.
Right.
But when I hit that, amazing. Then they would do this mic at the coffee shop. And I had one Chappelle joke. And then the next month I came back to the coffee shop. All my jokes were Dave Chappelle. And then I tried to go to another mic after. My sister drove me to a different show after that coffee show. And there was a dude standing at the door. Name is Jake Dawg. He doesn't do comedy anymore, but it still stays in Savannah. He stopped me and was like, hey, you can't use Chappelle jokes anymore.
Right.
Got to stop. And then I got on stage. I riffed. It sucked. But that's how I ended up falling in love with comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it was by accident. Is that the question that you asked?
Yeah. It takes hard, man.
Yeah.
It takes hard, man.
Takes getting embarrassed.
Looking back, what advice what would today's Nate give to a rookie Nate?
Stop doing Chappelle jokes, nigga. You're not. Quite honestly, it was a whole progression to me getting to this point. So I'd probably tell him maybe stop smoking, maybe drink a little less. I would also tell him even though I grinded so much, like every single night in the beginning, and I feel like you have to do that just to get better. If you're doing anything, you just have to consistently do it over and over again. Right. I would tell him it's okay to get some sleep. It's okay to drink some water. It's okay to eat something. A part of being, when they say the term starving artist, that doesn't literally mean you have to be starving and depriving yourself of things.
Correct.
That could just mean you're constantly trying to get better at the craft.
Correct.
And taking 3 days off to get some rest is not going to slow down your progression in comedy. Right. Because at some point you're on stage talking about life. You can't do that if you never take time to actually live it. So when literally every single one of my jokes was about being in the club and doing stand-up, it's like, all right, let's take a deep breath. Let's spend some time with your family.
Right.
Let's spend some time at the house a little bit. Let's get some sun.
Right.
You know? So that. But other than, of course, I would probably tell myself to not suck, but I don't think I think that was a part of the whole thing.
And that's the hardest thing to do, man, because when you do stop, it's always in your head. Like, man, you start getting depressed. Like, okay, I need to work on this joke, or I need to get out and do. Like, I'm the type person, if I can't make it to out in spot, I rehearse at home. I got a whole microphone, but everybody don't live like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know how to perform because I was taught how to perform. You know, like, I can take a mic. In my imagination, I'm not called Tankhead Moe for no reason. I'm a little off. You know what I'm saying? I can do a comedy set right here, like it's people sitting in front of me, and do it the same way on the stage and get the same result that I visualize in my head. Yeah. So, and I rehearse like that. If I can't make it to a comedy club, I rehearse at home. Yeah. And
you feel like that truly helps you get better?
It helps me. Yeah, it does. If I can't make it to, like, it's certain spots don't help me at all. Like, say for instance, because I'm a writer, so if I go and I write a joke and I go to certain spots, and some of the spots don't allow you to work the art. They want you to go do your for sure stuff, you know, or conform to what they doing.
You've been at shows where they told you to that?
Well, you'll see people doing PD jokes, you know, and then want you to conform to that style at that moment, because that's what people like.
What PD? Oh, are you not able to say that? Is that what it is?
Pussy dick jokes. Yeah,
okay.
you see people doing pussy dick jokes. And sometimes I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. You like, what's PD, man? Yeah, sometimes I don't want to, dude, I want to do my joke that I wrote for Tankhead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you feel like somebody has come to you and said, hey, man, you going to do pussy and dick jokes tonight. No, none of that other shit. You only got pussy and dick jokes.
I've been told before, like, this is not the play, you know what I'm saying, for certain things,
Ooh, specifically, what is, because I feel, I guess I keep asking you to go into detail because a lot of times I feel like as comics,
it's a bar.
Okay,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like as comics, we kind of put pressure on ourselves that to be like, oh, I can only do these kind of jokes here.
Right.
I can't do my old stuff that I'm working on here. But no one actually came and told us that. But somebody actually came and told you, no, just pussy and dick jokes tonight?
Well, I actually did a joke, and then people like, nah, this not. But the joke was good, but like, this ain't the.
What they said, you were
this wasn't the place.
You can edit some of this out, right? Yeah. So I can just ask you what the name of the place, and you can just tell me, and you can just edit it out later. No, okay. All right. He sounded like some niggas about to come and kill you.
And then somebody like they just don't know, Tank, like that. But it's just that's how it is. Like when you doing stuff in the bar, they forget. Like if it's open mic, I'm going to do open mic material. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do show material. I'm gonna do open mic material because you said open mic. That's where you're supposed to practice. But some people don't understand. They don't know if you say open mic, that's practice. Yeah, but some people think open mic is a show.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you have been told by people that have been running the open mic to do a certain kind of material. That's what you're saying.
Just once.
Just once.
All
right, so that's not a regular thing that you.
No. That was just that
yeah, and that can happen sometimes. Mics can be terrible. So from if I can give any comic that's like coming into a new scene, I guess it would be dope. Ideally, it would be dope to have a decent amount of time underneath your belt. That's why I always encourage people, if you're in a place where you're starting out comedy, to kind of find your voice first before you start venturing out to other places.
Right.
Because then when you go to another city and you kind of polish on these things that you call in open mics, a lot of times you can do A+ jokes. That ends up people actually seeing you. You're getting booked on everything. Right. Because that's the same strategy that I used when I first got here. The period of time that the first 3 years of me moving to Atlanta was some of the most fun that I've ever had doing comedy. Because I had already been doing comedy in Savannah for 7, 8 years. Okay. So coming here was like, oh, I already got this stuff. I know a few people, but then I would go to an open mic and just blow some of these people away that had never seen me before, and the bookings just came so easily. Right. And then after that, I was more comfortable going to open mics, working on stuff because I felt like I had already been proven as somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm comfortable. I'm definitely comfortable going. I think one thing about me, I pick and choose where I'm gonna go. Yeah,
and that's the whole thing that I think when you first breaking into somewhere, it ain't no pick and choosing. It's just going every damn where that you can go.
Right,
yeah.
But it's got to benefit and make sense.
Yeah.
Well, you have been in the comedy for over 12 years. What's been the biggest lesson you've learned?
It is a entertainment thing. This is not like sports. It's not ran by the numbers, and nobody cares how long you have been doing it. It's like if you don't have a way to promote yourself and get out there, you're just not going to be afforded the opportunities that everyone else is getting. So I was saying, before we started setting up, for so long, I think a lot of us have it in our head is oh, we're going to be on stage doing jokes one day, and then somebody's going to see us, and then you're off to the moon.
Right.
It's the amount of work that you have to put in yourself before you even get an opportunity that's even similar to that is so much. Right now with your podcast you're creating right now, you're trying to build an audience.
Right.
From social media, is the biggest thing in our game right now.
Right.
I've gotten to the point where I'm slowly opening up for people who have a social media following.
Right.
And some of these people haven't been doing comedy nearly as long as I have, and it does not matter at all.
Correct.
Like, if you haven't found a way to curate an audience, get people to buy tickets, then nobody really cares that much that you're a great comic. You can do that because I just have a plain old love for the craft of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But that is mostly for me. At this point now, it's like, how do you get this brand of comedy out to other people to entertain them?
Correct.
And it just doesn't matter how long you've actually been doing the craft. This is like a big part of it. And the grind of like creating a fan base is really kind of nasty. Not nasty, but it's just a long and rough one.
Right.
So I'm starting to figure out creating this whole thing with the industry. They're looking for people who have already curated their own audience.
Right.
So that is like, it's really like starting your own small business.
Right.
So I'm starting to learn that a lot recently.
So basically, it's not about talent.
I'm not going to be a pessimist and say that it's not about talent, because there's so many examples of people who I think, oh, you are just curating things off of consistency and you just feeding the algorithm.
Right.
You got this social media presence, but the actual craft of comedy, you're not really that into it. But at the end of the day, you done sold out this club, so you making more money than me, and I still got to get up to work in the morning to work with these autistic kids. So not that I'm complaining about that, but yeah, that's like a big thing. So yeah, that's I wouldn't say talent doesn't matter at all. I still think there's a lot of opportunities that you can get if you actually are talented at stand-up comedy. And if you're doing a thing that takes as much effort as this thing that we are doing, you should want to actually be good at it.
Right.
That's like a big thing. You should actually want to be good at it just for yourself. Just the benefit that I get of stepping off a stage and I know I did a really good job or I had a really fire set. That's enough to just feed my soul right there. If I don't get anything else, I don't have to get a DAP or a TV deal or some shoes. It would be nice to get all those things as a pussy too, but it all matters whether or not you are actually good on stage.
Right.
So talent does matter. If you actually love a craft.
Yeah, and you gotta. I love the artist stand up, man. I love the craft, man. That's why I don't mind going through the process. You know, and I tell people, I took 2 years just to learn how to write comedy, you know, before I even touched the stage. Because I wanted to make sure I knew how to write jokes, you know, take my joke, make it into an actual joke, you know.
So you thought about stand-up for 2 years before you actually started doing it?
Well, I was learning it. I'm just saying before I got out doing it. But I was still in, like, say for instance, where I was learning it at, I was still just practicing on the stage in front of people. But before I just went out in the world and started doing it, I was like behind the scene writing and learning how to write and stuff like that, critiquing it before I stepped out.
So you mean like you took a class?
Like taking.
You took a class.
Taking classes and learning stage presence and learning how to write comedy and stuff like that.
Which classes did you take?
I took Josh Harris, used to be at Atlanta Comedy Theater. I took Judy Carter comedy class, and now I do. I went through the comedy convention with Hope Flood, and I have my mentor called Kente Scott. That I work with a lot. So and you would only do those classes. Would they encourage y'all to go to open mics? Yeah, and you didn't. Encouraged to go to open mic. Yeah, but you didn't. Not starting off, not early on, no, because I wanted to get that part down. I was fine because, let me say this, because I still was doing comedy in front of people on the stage. So when I took Josh Harris, even though I wasn't going to open mic, it's like I was there. You see what I'm saying? Because people was there in the audience. People as in people who taking a class or whoever. Okay. You still doing it in front of people, or you have, you know, he'll have some things where you invite your family out and still do comedy, but like a graduation show, but you know, and stuff like that. But then later I started hitting the mics and stuff like that, you know. But
I guess what I would say, it's not. I guess if you asking several comedians their idea on stand-up comedy, you're gonna get a different answer from all of them.
Right.
So when I have conversations like this, I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I would, because you are doing what you feel gets you in the best mode to do your best stand-up.
Right.
For me, the advice that I have given to people, I would tell them not to consider the classes like a open mic, because those people you performing for, even if you bring in your friends and stuff like that, and this is just how I view it. This is how I view it. Even if you bring in your friends or you're performing for other people in the class, those aren't a reflection of the people that you're going to be performing at a show for or at an open mic for. Because people at an open mic, they don't know you and they're not hoping this goes well. They're just here to experience it with you. If it's not funny, they're not going to laugh. If it is, they will. So I think you get a better judgment of how good your comedy is if you're not performing for people who want to see you win. So did that not come across your mind, or how did you view it as them being a fair audience?
Well, no, I'm not gonna say that necessarily. I'm just saying the first 2 years.
First 2 years.
Yeah, but I started hitting mics the years after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you realize it was different?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. So I was hitting mic because that's how I got my rhythm. And stuff like that. Yeah. I was just saying I just took the first 2 years to say, hey, let me learn the craft, you know, get this writing down and stuff like that. You know, I wanted to make sure, because I love stand-up. This is something I wanted to do since I was a kid.
It is nice that you took it that serious.
Yeah.
That's
so,
nice.
And then after that, I started hitting stage. Okay, I learned how to get my breathing down, the timing, and I'm still learning that now. But you still, that's stuff you go through, you know. Because I used to be depressed, man, trying to learn this stuff, man. And as time is like you get better and you get better and you get better, you know. So you got to go through that process. So that's why. You know, I took the 2 years.
And it got you comfortable.
Yeah.
I used to look down on the classes. I'm not gonna lie, but if you're taking it so you can get comfortable, then I supported it.
Right.
Then I support it. And what was I about to say? Never mind. Go ahead and see. I forgot.
How did the Dope Dad podcast come together?
I have this bit where I've only just started talking about my dad's drug addiction on stage maybe like 4 years ago. No, actually no, it was a bit before that. It's just evolved over time. But I got like one of the best jokes I have is my dad was present, but he was a drug addict. Those two things don't go together. My dad would say goofy stuff when he would try to be a parent, but also an addict. There's one time he would try to give me a whooping. He was like, hey, boy, don't make me take this belt off my arm. And every time I would do that joke, my co-host, well, Kate, this another comic named Kate Striggs, would always come up to me, and he would be like, hey, man, you talk about your dad being on crack, but you say the belt around the arm like he doing heroin. But I like that those don't go together, but it's still a really, really good joke. And he would give me that specific, he would say that every single time I did a show, and we were at the Punchline one time, and he had said it to me again, and I was like, you know what? This should be a short podcast series, because I was only thinking like, oh, we should just share stories about our dad, since we got this thing in common. And at that time, he hadn't started talking about his dad on stage yet. He's just incorporating it a little bit into his stand-up now. And what I didn't realize is that this whole thing of having parents who have a drug addiction, whether it be hard drugs or alcohol, is very common. Like I'm happy, but I'm also sad to say it is incredibly easy finding guests for this podcast. It's gotten to the point where people literally message me. Like I've had several. We just posted a new episode today. I've had several conversations with different people who wanted it to be.
That's a dope podcast, by the way.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's something I don't think it's kind of taboo for people to talk about. Some people that we've had on, it's their first time talking about it out loud, and it's like a common thing with like a lot of comics. So the fact that it's a topic that people are actually excited to just get off their chest, I'm excited about it. So it's just recently became like a thing that I'm 100% sure I'll be consistent at. And it's so beautiful to have a that in my bio. Like you even showing me that it's there on your cue cards just makes it feel so nice. I do my
homework. Man.
Yes, you do, man. Yeah. Just like a military man.
Yeah. What was it like appearing on Revolt TV? Funny AF.
It's funny because I look at that as a failure. To be honest with you, the way I got that, this comic named David Lucas knows a friend of mine, sister, and then he was like, "Hey, if you know any comics, tell them to send this tape in." I sent it in. The experience was amazing. Even getting accepted into it, letting them know, them telling me that they wanted me on the show. I got flown out to LA for one day. It was okay. They set me up in a hotel, got me an Uber. It was all good. I went straight to the studio. I didn't have enough time to go to the hotel. I went there, and there was just several things that I feel like I did wrong. It was all cool. There was a wardrobe, a lady that was in charge of wardrobe. She wanted to give me this cool little bomber gray jacket. I should have taken it.
Right.
I didn't.
Right.
In that moment, I didn't realize that this person was trying to do their job, and I didn't let them. It's not like I was mean or anything, but they were trying to put their touch on this, and the fact that I didn't let them do that small little thing was something. But that was just one thing. So I ended up in the green room. I met some pretty cool comics that are based in LA. One guy I met was BT Kingsley. He was incredibly nice to me. Ryan Davis was there as well, too. This is before he actually really had a good following.
Right.
And he was just somebody that they got to sit in the audience just to fill the room. But I remember meeting him, and they were talking to him, and they asked me where I was from, told him I was from Savannah, and then he was like, oh, yeah, they are flying people out here for this. So I went out. Also, if you look at the video, the studio was actually smaller. I think they used some of that TV magic.
Yep.
They made that room look much bigger than it actually was. It was not that big, but it was still nice, still cool. I went out there, did my set. At one point, what they did, they asked us what jokes we wanted to do, and I gave them a list of my jokes. They had it up in the teleprompter in the back of the room. This is how I know I was an inexperienced comic. I was like, okay, cool. They're just going to have the stuff in the prompter. I ain't got to remember nothing. I ended up, and I had already had 3 sips of wine, so I was just throwing my brain away like I didn't need to remember anything. So I got up there. It was going well to begin with. Then I looked back on the teleprompter, and they had a few of my jokes out of order, so it started to fuck me up. And then there was like a long pause, and then I started to get back in the rhythm. And the last joke I did was outlandish. I did a joke. This is around the time that R. Kelly documentary came out, and all of that stuff was happening. And I did this joke about, it was probably funny how some of the girls tried to escape and how R. Kelly drew them back in. Like, it was probably a girl that was climbing the fence. And then when she got to the top of it, she was like, hold on, wait a minute. Is that the remix to Ignition playing? And then she was like, usually I don't do this, but let me go ahead back to this thing. And at the time, the people in the audience, they laughed at it. And specifically when I went backstage, the producer of the show, she was like, hey, we like that last joke. We're going to keep it in. So the rest of the day was just magical. I ended up, BT Kingsley ended up driving me around. He took me to the Laugh Factory. I saw one of my favorite comics at the time, still cool guy, Andrew Schultz, and his whole team was there. And I was telling him like how he was one of my comic inspirations, because it was crazy because we had already talked about social media and how you should try to build it. And I was already saying, I really like what Andrew Schultz is doing. So I was able to take a picture with him after the show. So that was fun. I tried to make fun of his nose. It was a whack joke, and then I hit it all, and he just was kind of looked at me like but it was nice. Somebody that I admire doing comedy, just talking to them was nice. Then after that, we went to a roast battle show at that's a Comedy Store. There was a roast battle show there, and Jeff Ross was there. Jeremy Piven had just started like getting into stand-up, or like back into stand-up, and I was just wondering why he was there, but Jeremy Piven was also there too. And it was nice. It was just a really cool one. It just felt like a fever dream because like a month afterwards, they sent me an email and was like, unfortunately, we will not be using your material on this season.
They showed you the love, though.
They was like, you thought we was going to use this. But they ended up just using like one small clip for promotional purposes. And for a long time, I had it in my head, nah, they hating on me. I was ready. I was ready for that opportunity. I was funny at stand-up. I was a competent stand-up. Like, I could get in front of people and make jokes and make people laugh. I wasn't good enough to be on a show where it was like, hey, we cannot talk about R. Kelly keeping girls trapped in a dungeon. Like, you cannot make jokes about that on this BET network.
Right. He still had some pull.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. We had fun chopping it up, but this is the part of the show where we turn up the heat. It's called a Tankhead Hot Seat. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Just ask them to the best of your ability. All right.
So in other words, it's the same thing that we've been doing. And it's already hot in here. So.
Clean comedy or uncensored comedy?
You asked me which one do I prefer?
Which one do you prefer, clean comedy or uncensored comedy?
I'll say uncensored, but I think funny is funny. And after really, I've seen the most dirtiest of comics be horrible. And I've seen some of my favorite comics, I don't even realize they're clean until I actually think about it.
Right.
So really I'm starting, and now I've gotten to a point where I am able to just flow and do a clean show and still keep my personality and still be funny. So really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Comedy is comedy. I like something funny, but I guess uncensored.
Favorite comedian of all times?
Dave Chappelle, easily. But can I tell you my top 3 comic inspirations? It's my sister Jasmine, Elmo, and Dave Chappelle.
Shout out to Jasmine.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's the best.
Favorite comedy special ever?
Killing Them Softly, because I think the most perfect joke is in there. Dave Chappelle has a bit about Sesame Street, and I think it's one of the most brilliant jokes that have been written.
All right, first thing that come to mind. Club crowd or theater crowd?
As a guy who never performs in theaters, so I'm going to go ahead and say club crowds. Show love to where I'm at right now.
If you could tour with any comedian, dead or alive, who would that be?
Can I give you 2 answers? It would be Dave Chappelle. But if I had to say who would I go on a tour with, and I would, without a doubt, murder it every time without a thought, Sam J. I opened up for Sam J once, and it was the first person whose audience I got in front of where I was like, oh, they 100% love me. So, yeah.
One city that always show you love?
You asking me questions like I'm a real torn comic. You know what's a nice place to perform? Knoxville.
Yep.
Knoxville. I did a Don't Tell there in an old movie theater once. Man, that was some of the most fun I've ever had doing comedy. Knoxville is a pretty fun place to go do comedy.
Bombing on stage or forgetting your jokes?
Bombing on. What is worse? You ask me what's worse or what's better?
It'd be, I mean, it's pretty much the same. What's worse, bombing on stage or
forgetting your joke? Forgetting your joke. If I'm bombing, then they just do not like me, and there's probably nothing I can do to make it better. If I forget my shit, then that means I fucked up my set and I messed up the flow and everything.
Now, what's worse, hecklers or bad promoters?
Bad promoters, easily. I can make a bad heckler. Yeah, I can make a heckler funny. I can turn that into a funny moment, and it can make my whole set better. If the promoter gets no one to come to the show, then I'm having a bad night.
If you weren't if you weren't a comedian, what would you be doing?
Army, easily. I would have signed another contract. I would have had a deployment under my belt. I would have probably been married. I would have been you.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I would be you. I'd probably have a kid by now, live in a nice little house, be married. Yeah. I'd have more muscles because I would do PT every day. Easily Army. I'd have a fade right now, one mustache. Yep. I'd be in the Army.
Funniest thing, well, let's see. What's one thing you still want to accomplish this year? What's one thing you still want to accomplish this year?
I want the podcast to get off the ground. I want to look and see that we have a really good following. I want to look and see at one point, not a live show this year. So what I'm banking on is higher numbers on the YouTube views, higher numbers across social media, and for us to build consistency.
Right.
That's it. Those are my goals this year.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Humble, vulnerable, happy.
Okay. Why should people follow Nate Allen?
If you like comedy, I don't want to make it sound like a threat, but I mean, you don't got to. If people who've never heard of me before are doing fine. If you just like comedy, depending on what brand of comedy you're in, I have a real story that I tell about myself, and if you can relate to it at all, then you're good. I don't think you have to have an age range or come from a certain background. I talk about the human being that I am, and if you can feel that through my work, and if you like feeling that through other artists' work, then I'm somebody you should check out.
Right. If your life story became a movie, who would play you, and what would the title be?
Derek Luke would have to lose a lot of weight, and they would use maybe like a little CGI to tighten his face up a little bit. But Derek Luke definitely, ever since he did Antoine Fisher, I'm like, this dude got to play me in the movie. So it'd be Derek Luke easily, and the title would be A Lil Bruh. That would be the title of it.
All right, man. That completes the Tankhead hot seat. And before we get out of here, let the people know, all the good things you have going on, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. You guys make sure you go on, I know I keep talking about it, the Dope Dads Podcast. Right now, we have 3 episodes out. If you go on Instagram, we are at That's the Dope Dad Podcast. And we have our YouTube link there. TikTok's page is going to come out soon. But also, Nate is not home on Instagram. I post all the shows that I'm doing. All the links are there. You catch me all around town. I'm all over the South right now. We're going to start getting some dates in New York soon. We're going to take a trip out there. But, yeah. That's where I'm at, just going around doing these shows, trying to get this podcast to the next level, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and get out and support Nate Allen, man. Hilarious brother. He talk about life experience. And like you say, they have the Dope Dads Podcast, himself and his co-host, K Striggs. And like I say, some very funny brothers. Check Nate Allen out. You won't go wrong. That completes the Tankhead Moe Show.
Thank you, Uncle Tank. Y'all make sure to check my nephew out.
Right. It's about you may be.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I forgot about it. It's about the truth, the jokes, the Tankhead way. Peace. If you like this episode, please comment, like, share, and subscribe.